About the old
UFOs.
UFOs.
Yeah, that's amazing. This is Mark. This is Larry.
Hi, Larry.
Nice to meet you.
Great to
Marcus, I
meet
guess.
you.
Marcus
Thank
is
you
the
for
real-
coming.
Yeah, we first met 1959 on Hudson Street here. We were the first or second families to move into the new neighborhood, so to speak. So yeah, it was definitely something a UFO for sure. The way the lights were, how they darted, it would remain stationary for quite a while, and then all of a sudden just dart off. And I remember it was so dark and so quiet. I think I even remember hearing the swishing sound that this sound made, the light made.
Wow.
So in my eyes, I'm pretty sure it was a UFO. So I've known Grant since 1959, 1960. So that's many moons.
And we drove around the city. That was the whole thing. You had the car.
Yeah, you didn't have a car.
So
yeah.
we drove around the city, and we'd go places and just sit around and did nothing.
That was our entertainment, just driving around.
And Larry did the driving.
Through the city of Winnipeg. Yeah. Had a few scary moments, but we survived.
And then February 1975 was the first sighting.
Yeah.
And we heard about it, and I said to Larry, well, let's go out and see what they're looking at.
Did we go out there in February?
No, we didn't go out in February. That was the thing. We didn't go out. We went out and remember the CKY did the film.
Yeah, it was closer to the summertime.
CKY did the film. And then I said, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
And then instead of driving around the city, we went. So you drove.
Yeah.
And Bob Rondo was in the back seat.
Oh, I don't remember that. Okay.
Yeah, Bob Rondo was in the back seat.
I remember taking all the little kids, our neighbors.
That was the second night.
Oh, okay.
So the first night we'd go out.
Yeah.
And as I recall it, maybe you've got a different recollection. We were in the town, out of the town. We were driving around. And we didn't know what everybody was looking at. Because all we were trying to say, well, what are they looking at? What's everybody reporting? Right. We didn't see anything. And I think my recollection was you said, okay, we'll go back in town one more time. And then if we don't see anything, let's go home.
Mm-hmm.
So we made the turn to go back into Carmen.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you can have your recollection. To me, it was down low. It was coming from the left to the right and flew in front of the car. And then there was those school buses. Remember the school buses?
Yeah. No, you remember that?
Yeah. So I was running through the ditch to those school buses because it was so low. It was down. It was going in behind the school buses.
Right.
And then that was the first night. We saw it just flew in front of the car and it just flew off.
Yeah.
And so the second night we take the kids. So who do you remember in the second night with the kids that were with us? Your brother was there.
Yeah, my brother Ken.
Ken, your brother was there.
Lamarans or Mitchells or Sims, I think it was.
Sims, yeah, the two Sim boys.
Brian and Glenn Sim. Now remember, this is 1975, so...
Yeah, and you haven't told the stories many times. So all these kids lived on the street. So
yeah,
we were a bit
neighbors.
older than these kids. We were,
We
were 23, 20, 21, 22, 23.
Yeah.
These kids were all been about 14 years old.
Yeah, 14, 13 in that area.
So they heard that we were into this stuff, and they'd say, can we come? And then we'd take all these kids on these... How many times do you think you went out there?
Oh, at least 6 for sure, anyway.
And
I didn't go as many times as you, but at least 6 for me when we went together.
Yeah. And the second night, do you remember the second night when we were sitting there, and I think it was Ken and Brian Sim were sitting in the field, and we were standing on the road. Remember all those kids, those people were the Roadrunner, the Roadrunner courier car was there?
Yeah.
And all my friends decided they were going home. They said, no, we're going home. It's too... we're not going to see anything. And they went back. Right. They said we're going back to Winnipeg for pizza. Mm-hmm. And it was either Ken or Brian yelled out, "Is that it?"
Yeah, right.
And it was flashing. It was flashing in the sky.
Yeah.
It was jumping around.
Right. Yeah.
And then as it came towards us, it turned into that red.
A red ball.
Red ball.
Yeah.
And then you remember the Roadrunner car taking off?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that girl was crying. Remember?
Yeah. Speeding off in front of us or something there.
Yeah, she was crying because she couldn't see it. It was jumping around and she was crying. And she said, I can't see it. And then people were swearing and yelling and jumping up and down as it was coming at us.
Right, exactly.
And she couldn't see it. And then they took off. And I tried to find that Roadrunner courier. Mm-hmm. But I waited about 6 months. And then by then she had left and gone to another job. But they remembered her there.
Yeah, because this continued on for over a year.
Yeah. So you went through the summer?
Yeah, I don't think I ever went in the wintertime because of the roads. But
yeah.
But it was quite a phenomenon. It lasted quite a long time.
How did it make you feel, Larry, seeing it?
It was exciting. Yeah, it was something you'd never even would know was there, to be honest with you. It had to be something to do with UFOs or something. They blamed it on the U.S. missile sites down in Grand Forks, but nothing ever came about that. But it was definitely something a UFO for sure. The way the lights were, how they darted, it would remain stationary for quite a while, and then all of a sudden, just dart off. And I remember it was so dark and so quiet. I think I even remember hearing the swishing sound that this sound made, the light made. Wow. So in my eyes, I'm pretty sure it was a UFO. And it lasted for so long. Why would it hang around for over a year? At the same spot pretty well most of the time, too.
Yeah, because we went a few times. I mean, we were going there lots to see it. Once you saw it.
Not more than one country road, too. There was quite a few different country roads, because every mile there's a different road. So you were able to go quite a ways different directions. And it was like it was following you sort of thing. Like, what the hell's going on here? Why is this strange red light following us? Like
yeah, that's right. I mean, it would go very, very slow, right?
Yeah. And then it would speed up. Then it would then disappear, and then a few seconds or minutes later, it would just reappear again. So it had nothing to do with Air Force or anything like that, I don't think. And there's no way, at that time, jets, I don't think, would go that fast, or could move that intricate into what's the word I'm trying to think of? How they could zigzag. Maneuvers, yeah. There's no way a jet could maneuver like that so quickly. So, again, very unexplainable. But to this day, many, many years later, I would think it's UFOs.
But then you had some other experiences in your life. After we left Carmen, you went to Edmonton.
Yeah, we moved to Edmonton.
And then you and your wife Shirley have an experience there.
Yeah.
Which you told me about years later.
Yeah, years later.
Which means that you may be more involved than you think you're involved.
Yeah, this was in the mid-'80s. We were sound asleep, like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, pitch black in our room, and all of a sudden, Shirley and myself, a real bright light, like it lit up the whole room and everything, and it woke us up instantly. We quickly looked out the window, and by that time, this bright light, as I said, which lit up the whole room, vanished in a split second. So that was a strange phenomenon, and nobody else seemed to see it. We lived in a complex with many other houses around, and yet neighbors and all that didn't seem to see it. So, but this light was so bright that it lit up the whole backyard and our bedroom.
Wow.
Never came back again since that, but another one of those unexplained phenomena that was really weird.
But you had one just the other night, didn't you?
Shirley, yeah, she was looking about 1 o'clock in the morning. She was looking out the bedroom window for some reason. We face east, and she saw these 2 lights, and we don't know what they were. It wasn't an airplane. It wasn't a helicopter or anything, because there was no sound. And all of a sudden, the one light just shut off instantly, but the other light was there for a few seconds and then just darted towards the east. Again, unexplained. It happened that was only about a week ago.
Wow. So
we don't know what that was about, but that incident in Edmonton back in the mid-'80s was very interesting, to say the least. As I said, I've known Grant for a long time, and he's not crazy, so there's definitely something going on, and he's been so world known regarding ufology, and as far as I know, Grant has been more experienced and more familiar with the UFO phenomena worldwide, and lots of instances you hear about Air Force and Navy pilots seeing strange lights in the skies all over the world. So there's definitely life out there. I'm 100% convinced of that. And as I said, knowing Grant for such a long period of time, he's got it all together, so he's not crazy. There was definitely something out there for sure, and it made a lot of the newspapers, and a lot of media came out. Yeah. I remember I think even the National Enquirer sent a reporter out to check on it too.
Yeah, the National Enquirer was here twice.
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
stories. Yeah, going around and interviewing various people. So it was a big thing. But unfortunately, we didn't really publicize it because I mean
No.
I was the same as you. I mean I didn't really
Yeah.
make a big deal out of it. And a lot of the people in Carmen don't even know it happened.
No,
But
that's
that was
right.
because the people really didn't want to talk about it.
And-
They're all dead now. So
Yeah, and to this day, there's so many non-believers out there too. Because when Gary Lamoran, we were talking at the food court, the people who were beside us, they were nonchalant and they're rolling their eyes, and so they're not believers. So,
yeah.
but strange phenomena, not only here but worldwide. Lots of instances in Scotland and Russia and all that, all over the place. Strange phenomena, lights and stuff. So
Yeah. So if it hadn't been for you, I would never have gone because you're the one.
I was the only one driving.
You're
Yeah,
the one who had the car.
I was the only one that had the vehicle. Yeah, so I was the chauffeur and
And as I point out to people, it was just that we were in the city and we said, well, instead of driving around Portage Avenue and Main Street or whatever,
yeah, we
let's
started
go out
going
there. And we got lucky.